2023 for military activities of the Department of Defense and for military construction to prescribe military personnel strengths for such fiscal year and for other purposes.
It is now in order to consider amendment number 49, printed in Part A of House Report 117-405. For what purpose does the gentlewoman from California seek recognition?
Madam Chair, I have an amendment at the desk.
The clerk will designate the amendment.
Amendment number 49, printed in Part A of House Report number 117-405, offered by Ms. Speier of California.
Pursuant to House Resolution 1224, the gentlewoman from California, Ms. Speier, and a member opposed, each will control 5 minutes. The chair recognizes the gentlewoman from California.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I rise today in support of Amendment 49 on the International Military Education and Training Program. IMET is, as we all know, a prestigious and competitive program that trains the next generation of senior leadership in our allies' militaries around the globe and enables us to maximize the competitive advantage our alliances and partnerships provide. However, as of 2019, approximately only 8% of the IMET participants were women. That percentage increase was only 2 points since 2015. We can and must do better to ensure that we continue to provide this world-class training to our female military leaders around the world. This amendment would simply require a gender analysis assessment of the program to better understand the impediments to increasing the number of female participants and address any specific needs the women in the program may have. By signaling the importance of including more gender diversity in the program, we are encouraging our partners and allied militaries to invest more heavily in the recruitment, training, and promotion of women within their security forces. We do know that this is not just important, it's smart. We know that our world is more peaceful and prosperous when women are involved in national security and defense decision-making processes. I also want to point out that this will continue the work that was begun under former President Trump when he signed the Women, Peace, and Security Act during his administration. It received bipartisan support then. It is also supported by President Biden. It will also improve military effectiveness of our security partners and thereby advance implementation of the National Defense Strategy. And with that, I will reserve the balance of my time.
The gentlewoman reserves.
I rise
For what purpose does the gentleman from Wisconsin seek recognition?
I rise in opposition to the amendment.
The gentleman is recognized for 5 minutes.
Well, first let me say at the outset that I very much appreciate the way the chairwoman and I have been able to work together on the issue of military education in general, but I have to oppose this amendment. International military education and training, or IMET, is a vital pillar of our national security. In recent years, Ukrainian service members have benefited from IMET to enhance their combat readiness and lethality. As we've seen in the aftermath of Putin's invasion of Ukraine, security partnerships like IMET can help make a difference between life and death and the ability of our allies and partners to withstand foreign aggression. Since 2014, in fact, the U.S. military has played a key role in boosting Ukrainian military capabilities, training alongside them, providing Ukraine with critical weapons and munitions, enabling its reserve component, and more. Our security focus, however, was laser-focused on enhancing Ukraine's ability to defend itself against a Russian invasion. My concern is that the amendment would broaden the scope of IMET and end up watering down the results for both the United States and for our security partners. Promoting human rights, including the rights of women, is a well-established goal of U.S. foreign and development policy. I don't deny that. Instruction on gender roles, female opportunity, and narrowing gaps between men and women should, however, not be a part of the U.S. military's mandate when it comes to teaching allied and partner nations the art of war. As I said earlier tonight, All of our instruction for warfighting needs to be focused on the actual fighting of wars, which will in turn allow us to deter wars. This is not to discount the importance of other issues, but the military is simply not the right tool for advancing this objective. As former Obama administration official Rosa Brooks notes in her book, How Everything Became War and the Military Became Everything, the U.S. military has in recent years taken on missions that depart from its core responsibility of fighting and winning the nation's wars. And my concern is this amendment would exacerbate this trend. So therefore, I oppose this amendment, and I reserve the balance of my time.
The gentleman reserves. The gentlewoman from California is recognized.
I thank the chair, and I too share a position of working well with my colleague as the ranking member of Military Personnel Subcommittee. I just feel that he is not appreciating, with all due respect, what this amendment does. We already say that women, peace, and security should be part of it. That was something that was signed by President Trump, and it was bipartisan then. It's something that's also been embraced by President Biden. This is only looking at the fact that very few women in the military of our allies have been participating in this program. This program exists to provide military education and training to our allies, and we're talking about only 6 to 8% of them being women who are participating. This is an analysis. That's all this amendment does, is analyze whether or not we have promoted this properly to encourage our allies to have service women in their countries participate. We do know that when you have women in the military, it adds to our success. It does not degrade it. And with that, I will yield the balance of my time.
The gentlewoman reserves. The gentlewoman yields back. The gentleman is recognized.
Well, I certainly don't deny the fact that having women in the military is a huge asset. As the gentlelady said, I've served in the Marine Corps with women I greatly admire, to whom I'm greatly indebted. I just think we have to strike the right balance here between widening the aperture for our military education, our training programs, such that they get distracted from the core focus on warfighting, as well as foisting some of our own requirements and the higher standard that the United States sets on some of our allied partners. So I appreciate the gentlelady's argument, but I remain in firm opposition to this amendment, and I urge my colleagues to join me in opposing the amendment.